I've no idea what I did wrong, but clearly I must have done something to upset one of you, because one of my own subscribers tried to assassinate me on today's live stream. They gave me this article to read, and as I'm reading through the lines, my blood pressure is going up and up and up. And luckily it was a short article, because a few more lines in, and I would have found myself in heaven next to Dr. Fauci's beagles. But luckily I have managed to regain composure, calm myself down, and now I'm going to read to you guys the same article as a little way of being sadistic and wanting you to experience the emotions that I experienced, but also to see if my way of thinking is really that bizarre, if I'm going crazy or maybe the world is going crazy. So let's read through this thing. Now, it's on Slate magazine, and it's about a woman who became a mother recently, and she is upset because the husband is not helping at all with the baby. He's not trying to feed the baby, he's not trying to change the baby, he's not trying to bathe the baby. And she feels that there's just too much responsibility on her shoulders. Now, this may surprise you, but I'm not really that right-wing. I mean, sure, gender roles are nice and all, but helping around the household is common sense. If you notice that the woman is unable to do the cooking and the cleaning and the taking care of the baby, maybe pitching in isn't that bad. So yes, I was thinking that the husband is a little bit irresponsible, and if he actually sees that the woman is struggling and doing all the chores, then maybe he could pitch in as well. Because at the end of the day, parenting requires two people. So I don't think the husband needs to be away until the kid is 6 years old before he gets involved. No, at least try, to share some of the responsibilities. It's like you feed him in the morning, I feed him in the night. It's okay. But that's not what's happening, because as I'm reading, apparently she says, he doesn't feed or change the baby unless asked, and doesn't bathe him unless we do it together. So in other words, he is willing to do it, he just needs to be asked. So this is why she's upset. But then as I keep reading, he has also started doing a lot of overtime and self-employed projects, so it's not unusual for him to be gone from 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. weekdays and to be out on the weekend as well. This reeks of Americanism. This has the stench of California on it. So, I remember watching Breaking Bad, and there was Walter in the first episode, and he had two jobs. One of them was as a high school teacher, a chemistry teacher, and the other job was working at a car wash, something that was incredibly humiliating for him. But he did it in order to provide for his family, where the woman would stay home with no job. Right? Skylar had no job. And Skylar was complaining that Walter is working too much overtime and he's not there to give her attention. You cannot find a human being with a more entitlement complex than that. If you have a family member who works from 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m., weekdays and weekends, you have absolutely no more room to complain. Because I don't think he is drinking the money away. If he is drinking the money away, then yes. Or if he has a gambling addiction. Or if he has another problem. But as long as the person is working from 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. in order to bring money to the household, I am starting to think that there might be some financial issues which gets him to be that desperate in order to become a workaholic. No one wants to work this much. So either he's got a mortgage to pay, or maybe she doesn't have a job that can pay the bills. So he is now working as a mule in order to provide for the family, and she is whining, not that he doesn't try to take care of the baby, but she has to tell him to take care of the baby. And she is whining in Slate. Okay? So this is the first major issue. It's the entitlement mindset that we get to see here. And I gotta tell you, if I have the choice between working from 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. weekends as well as weekdays, or I have the opportunity of just raising the kid by feeding, playing with him, as well as bathing him, I would choose the latter. Why? Because at least I love the kid. That's why you want to do a kid, right? Because you love having a kid. So at least you do something you like. Don't get me wrong, it's a very tough job, but it's a job that almost every human being on planet Earth has managed to accomplish, given the fact that our parents have did it for us. So yes, it's hard, but I don't think it's that hard, to the point where it's impossible. So if she doesn't like it, why isn't she having a job which can afford the husband not to work from 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m.? And I'm willing to bet, given this type of mindset that I'm seeing right here, I'm willing to put money down that if he was to stay home and take care of the baby, she would be nagging that he's not making enough money. But okay, this is fine. I mean, look, being a mother for the first time, uncharted territory. So maybe she didn't know what she was getting into. Maybe she's a little bit overwhelmed with the responsibilities. Maybe until this point, she never even had a cat. I am willing to overlook this. What I'm not willing to overlook is the suggestions for what she needs to do. I've always believed the most important decision a person will ever make in their lifetime is who they choose to have children with. Absolutely correct up till this point. I'm not here to say that you made the wrong decision, but there were some signs that he wasn't the most helpful spouse in the world, and now you're left stranded alone on a parenting island. So the man is working like a mule from 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and what the person responding to this is, oh, you're alone on parenting island. So the money just poof, magically appears in the house. It's like, poof, just money out of the sky, poof. Unreal. Again, if he had a gambling problem, I would have understand the criticism, but it goes deeper. You need to get in front of a licensed therapist as soon as possible. So the man works like a mule from 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. In order to struggle to make money. The solution, give money to a licensed therapist. How about you fuck off? Do you know how much a licensed therapist costs? Do you know how expensive those fuckers are? By the way, before this shit, there was religion. And I'm an atheist and I'm going to shill religion very hard right now, regardless if it's Christianity, Islam, or what have you. The priests used to play the role of the psychologist. My grandparents used to go to the priest for advice. And not religious advice, mind you. Like every time they had a problem in their life, they would go to a priest and the priest would listen to them. And the priest not only is an educated person because he finished a university, but he also listens to so many other people's problems and has learned the wisdom from those before him and is going to give you some good advice. And you know why I tell you that you should go to a priest? Because it's fucking free. He doesn't charge anything. Trust me. As a person who also visits psychologists, licensed paid psychologists, I have never experienced a profession that's more fake than a licensed psychologist. Like you pay someone to pretend that they give a shit about your problems, and if they don't fix your problems, sorry, no refunds. So at least when you go to someone that doesn't ask anything, it feels a lot better. So just go to a family member that you have, at least in Orthodox religion, you have like the godparents, which are supposed to give you these types of advice. Go to your mother, go to your father, go to someone you trust. Don't go to a licensed psychologist. They're just going to rob you of money. But anyway, right, so not only that, then they say, whatever the reason is, you need to get to the bottom of it before you lose your mind. In speaking with a therapist, you need to be painfully clear about how his behavior is affecting you, and don't pull any punches. Sometimes all it takes is for an impartial third party to tell you someone to get their act together for it to resonate. In other words, it's not her fault at all, right? So we don't know why the guy needs to work so much, how much money is in the household, like if there's any debts to pay or anything like that. No, we don't know any of that. All we know is that it's his fault for not working from 5:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and taking care of the baby at home. So it's his fault. Okay, fine. Hopefully, it won't get to this stage, but if you discover that he's unable or unwilling to change, you are going to have to look at your life hard. Your son isn't going anywhere, and you need his main male role model to be someone who is interested in him. So, in other words, get a divorce. That's the solution. Get a fucking divorce. Unfucking unreal, man. Like, the culture in the United States right now, utterly baffling. So let's take a vow, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, and the moment something even remotely goes wrong, you file for a divorce. So now the guy should be working the same amount, spend this money on child support, probably lose half of what he has in the divorce, including his son, and then the woman should find another guy, right? And then there is questions like why there is stigma for single moms. It's like, if a woman acts like this, she is going to give big red flags to other men around her because she's just looking for an upgrade. She's not interested in a love life. Right? She's looking for an upgrade, like it's a little bit of a cog in a machine. You don't like it, you pull it out, you put something in. It's not like it's a human being with feelings and whatnot. And again, if a man behaved the same way, he would have been considered a piece of shit. Like, imagine if a man is married with a woman, and let's say that she has an aneurysm, and she gets paralyzed, and the moment that happens, the man goes like, okay, you know what, I deserve better. Files for a divorce, gets another woman. And maybe the woman that he got starts getting a little weight. Maybe the age isn't doing really well, an impact on her. And then he's like, you know what? Boom, upgrade. Marries a younger, more beautiful looking woman. Like, everyone is going to look at that man and is going to consider that he's an asshole. And rightfully so. But when women do this, this is the type of advice that they're getting. I mean, my advice to this problem, okay, like if you're literally overblown, there are so many ways you can improve. Like, number one, try seeking help from the grandparents. A lot of grandparents would love seeing their grandkids. So if you feel alone and there's really nothing you can do, like you're so stressed out, try asking the grandparents for help. Try getting a job where you can also pay a lot of money, and if you can't really like find time, hire a nanny. All right, like, this is not a deadbeat dad. This is doing what a man is supposed to be doing. He's working really hard in order to provide money for the household. And I don't think a man would act like this if there was money in the household. I don't think anyone chooses to work so much, 12 hours a day, if the house is overflowing with cash. Clearly, there is a problem there. So my advice to this lady is to appreciate what she has. Because she doesn't have a wife beater, she doesn't have a guy with a drinking problem, she doesn't have a guy that doesn't give a shit, she doesn't have a deadbeat husband that just stays home all day. She doesn't have any of that. She has a very hardworking lad, which is busting his ass off for his family, and she should reconsider whether or not she's really that displeased. Now, people ask me, why am I making so many family videos lately? Is it because I got married recently? No, it's because this is what people want to watch. I mean, every time I talk about these things, I get a lot of views. So maybe people want, I guess, some Eastern European wisdom. I don't know. But yeah, like in Eastern Europe, if you get hit by the snag, ask help from the grandparents or hire a nanny. Hiring a nanny should be the last resort, by the way, because a kid is obviously going to fare a lot better with his parents. But if you have no other option, then fine. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.